I will say that I want to submit a project that is very, very good for me to go to the International Science Fair, and then also I want to make sure that I make my town proud.
For this year's expo, I'm building a microbial fuel cell, which is a device that harnesses electricity using the bacteria's ability to respirate. It takes electrons from there, which then turns it to electricity.
Hello, I'm Dr. Angela Stott, and those were some of my learners who entered projects into the Expo for Young Scientists competition. Over the past 30 years, I've mentored hundreds of successful science projects. I've worked with bright young minds as they became engrossed in deep, authentic investigations of their own choosing. I've experienced the highs and lows of their passionate pursuit of knowledge with them. These experiences have perhaps been the most meaningful of my career. Now, I've distilled the expertise and knowledge that I gained across these many years and these many projects into this step-by-step online program. I invite you to let me guide you through the difficult but infinitely rewarding process of creating your winning science fair investigation. This online program has 4 main components: the online program itself, an intelligent e-tutor investigation guide, which, when completed, mail merges into templates, which automatically create the first draft of your project plan, report, and poster. And fourthly, my individual feedback. The full version includes all of these, and the cheaper plans have fewer of them. The most basic version includes only the online program itself, and that consists of 18 units which guide you step by step through the process of performing your investigation. And this includes notes, examples, movies, quizzes, and exercises. If you want to be able to download the notes, examples, and exercises, you'll need the download plan or higher. As you work through this program, you'll meet these characters: Sandra and Sifiso, and Amy and Alex. You'll follow their journeys from brainstorming a topic to preparing to present their projects in a science fair. Sandra and Sifiso do a project about the pitch of sound you get when you blow into bottles with different amounts of water in them. And Amy and Alex do a project about wind and evaporation rate. The second component is the most exciting: the investigation guide. This is a unique feature that you're unlikely to find anywhere else. Over the years, I've spent many hours giving feedback to learners on how to improve their investigation plans. And from that, I realized that there are common problems which could surely be programmed into an e-tutor. And that is, indeed, what I've done here. The investigation guide is an Excel sheet which responds intelligently to your inputs by giving suggestions, hints, and by self-populating some areas based on your previous responses. Let's take a look. Here is the contents page. This gives the process that you're going to follow as you plan, conduct, and communicate your investigation. Click on any of these buttons or click on the tabs below to go to that part of the process. Throughout the investigation guide, you'll see pink and blue blocks. You need to enter information into the pink blocks, and then the blue blocks will self-populate. This tab is for keeping a record of your literature sources. Notice that as you fill the information into the pink blocks, the correct in-text and end-of-text references appear. This page asks you questions which will help you to choose a topic for your project. Let's write some brainstormed questions in these 3 blocks. Now we go to the next tab, and we see that those questions automatically appear in the blue blocks. We're guided to evaluate each of these questions. Notice how the response that we get depends on our answers. We choose one of these questions based on our evaluation, and that self-populates this blue block. Of course, all of these entries are guided by the online course. Each unit prepares you to be able to fill in a part of this investigation guide. For example, in this part of the online course, you're given notes, examples, quizzes, and movies to help you understand the concepts of variables and of cause and effect. Then, you're directed to this part of the investigation guide where you apply that learning to your own project. You aren't going to get that right the first time. That never happens, but that's okay. So here's a space for the first draft. You're guided by a drop-down list here. And then this information self-populates. And if we go to the next tab, we see that several other cells have self-populated and some hints have popped up to help us to think more deeply about this as we work on our second draft. Here's a completed investigation guide for Sandra and Sifiso's project, Bottled Music. You can find a link to a read-only version of this completed guide below. Remember that they only entered the information in the pink blocks, or the blue blocks self-populated. Also remember that since you only have access to the read-only version of their guide, you can't see the hints and drop-down lists, and the buttons won't work for you, as in the real version. Of course, you will have access to the real version if you choose a plan that includes the investigation guide. Notice how the guide even recommends what type of graph is appropriate and draws graphs with the appropriate labels and headings for you. If you choose a plan which includes the investigation guide, then I will send you a link and password to your very own personal investigation guide, which you will incrementally complete throughout the duration of the program. So, those were the first two parts of the program, the online program and the investigation guide. What are the other two? The first of these is actually three things. The first draft of your project plan, your project report, and your poster. If you choose a plan which includes these, then at the appropriate point in the program, I will access your investigation guide and export the information that you've entered into templates that I've created. Those templates are formatted correctly and have the right headings and sequence according to the South African Expo for Young Scientists guidelines. So I will send you documents which can serve as the first draft of your project plan, report, and poster. You can view examples of what I'll send you by clicking the links below which take you to the bottled music and wind and evaporation examples. Notice that the tedious formatting work has been done for you. You won't need to repeat things that you've previously typed in, and you won't need to feel anxious about whether you've included everything that's required. Of course, the version you get won't have a watermark. And getting that will allow you to rather focus time and energy on refining this draft to produce a really good project. And now for the fourth component, my individualized guidance. This is only available in the full plan. For all the other plans, only the digital components will do the guiding. But if you choose the full plan, then I will observe what you enter into your investigation guide and I'll give you written feedback to guide you as you complete it. The investigation guide is stored online and both you and I will have access to it. Every tab has a space at the bottom for my comments to you. So, what are we waiting for? Let's get working on your winning science fair investigation.